This is your number one baby daddy, MrNoGood, at MrNoGood.com. I'm just having a little, this is kind of a rant. Hopefully it's going to be an organized rant. But I'm just getting tired of certain things that are happening. And with black folks and all the tribalism that we're going through and all the going back and forth that's getting nothing done and it's going to get us absolutely nowhere. I'm just a little bit tired of it. So the title of this podcast is that black people are puppets in the game. Now I'm going to talk about a whole lot of different things. Different topics that are going to relate to the general subject. But the thing is, nothing that we're doing is working. And all it's doing is putting money in other people's pockets. Everything that we're doing is putting money in other people's hands and putting them in people's pockets. Since the big foundation of this country, America builds its wealth off of the backs of black people, off of the talent and the innovations and everything of black people. Now, it could have been nice without slavery. I don't think they had slavery in Canada. Canada seems to be pretty nice. They're not a superpower, but it seems to be a nice country. They didn't have slavery. But here, it's time for you. Here, you as a black person, you are a commodity, and it is supposed to have your back. It's coming off of your back, and it's going into their hands. Now, I only put this picture up right here because it's going to show up in the thumbnail. And as you see, it shows an old Jewish man holding a stack of money with a nice grin on his face. And it has a classic nose. I just want to see if that's going to get flagged. Because as you see, my logo, as you see in the bottom left corner, that is a Sambo. So if I'm able to have that logo, and there's a whole lot of meaning into that logo and why I picked it, but I'm not going to go off into that right now. But it's meant to offend, I will say that. So I just want to see if I'm going to get flagged on this. Because there's not going to be any hate speech. There's not going to be any of that in here. Some of y'all, I'm just going to talk real quick about DJ Vlad. Y'all may not even know who this fool is. But he does some interviews on YouTube and was able to get at least 4 million followers. He puts out rappers. He lives off the back of rappers and interviewing them. And I have to give it to him. If it wasn't for Vlad, I would have never heard of 504. They don't play 504, and this is Ohio. I would have never heard of BFB, the Pac-Man. I listen to him all the time. Listened to him yesterday. But the thing is, if you didn't know, I'm just going to keep it quick because y'all don't give a damn. But anyway, he said something. He misquoted an interview that Louis Farrakhan said, took something out of context, clowned him on it. Because, of course, he's Jewish and Farrakhan is, you know, Farrakhan. And it turned out it wasn't true, and he didn't want to apologize. Vlad didn't want to apologize unless he comes on his show and sits down with him so he can videotape it. That's why I'm saying, Zazmaz. That's why I put this picture up. That is Vlad. But, so if he comes there and he has 4 million followers and he's a Jew that gets Louis Farrakhan on his podcast, on his videos, you know how much money he's going to make off of that? So now some of the other people that were regulars on there, like Godfrey and Lord Jamar, and I don't know about the other people yet, if they gonna jump ship. But he lives off of the backs of black people and black talent, and it stirs up a whole lot of controversy and interviewing niggas that's talking about a whole bunch of gang shit. And he's sitting there right behind the camera looking just like this, collecting that money from YouTube. So now, what they want to do is quote unquote cancel him. What black people on YouTube or black YouTube is trying to cancel him. But you know what? You can't cancel him the way you think you're going to cancel him. His 4 million followers, I bet 3 million of them are white. So, you know, white people ain't going to listen to you. And most of the black people ain't going to listen to you. If it comes up on their little search screen or whatever, the home screen, and it shows something that somebody's that's interested in, they going to click on it. Because it's showing up in all of our home screens if you listen to this dude. But so it ain't on us, the listeners. What it's on is them. DJ Lord Jamar backed out. Godfrey backed out. Now all you need for is John Sally, Faison Love, he's on there sometimes, Lunel, just anybody on there. All black people need to just not do an interview or taxing for an interview. At least 10 grand per interview. That's the way. That's right, Greg Maddock. The only way to stop him is to boycott going on his show. Or if you go on his show, you make sure you tax his ass. 10G at least. I want to even show up on your thing. They showing up on there for free. So now he has so much content that he can chop it up and he can play it for a while. But eventually, Funel don't come back on there. All of his regulars don't come back on there. What he gonna do? He's gonna wither and die. Now he'll be able to get the little youngins that don't know nothing. He may be able to get the BFB Pac-Mans and Fivio Foreigns on there. But that's not going to sustain him. He needs known names. And all the black people have to do, which I highly doubt, is boycott his show and not go on there. I doubt it. Now, speaking of Farrakhan. Oh, and now they're saying, well, Farrakhan don't need to sit down with you. What do he need to sit down with you for? You know what I'm saying? Really, he don't. He's at a level where he doesn't have to sit down with this fool. He's not going to let this fool make money off of him. So we already know that's not going to happen. Hold on. Okay. So speaking of Louis Farrakhan, and I may make a few folks mad, but I ain't gonna tell you something that you didn't know already, or that can't be easily found in Google. Before I go into that, I'm going to talk about how this BLM, Black Lives Matter activist, called out the Attorney General of Kentucky because supposedly he's a sellout. So we're going to play this. Supposedly he's a sellout. I hope this is loud enough. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's at 100. It should be good. Here we go.
The sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery.
Tamika Mallory criticizes attorneys Kentucky General for being a sellout in the Breonna Taylor case.
He mentioned at the press conference, which I thought was quite interesting, that he's a black man. And as I laid and cried and hurt for Tamika Palmer and for Breonna Taylor and for Kenny Walker and for Janiyah, who we need to love up on. As I laid there and I thought about him saying he's a black man, I thought about the ships that went into Fort Monroe and Jamestown with our people on them over 400 years ago. And how there were also black men on those ships that were responsible for bringing our people over here. Daniel Cameron is no different than the sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery and helped white men to capture our people, to abuse them and to traffic them while our women were raped, while our men were raped by savages. That is who you are, Daniel Cameron. You are a coward, you are a sellout, and you were used by the system to harm your own mama, your own black mama. We have no respect for you. No respect for your black skin. Because all of our skin folk ain't our kin folk. And you do not belong to black people at all. We learned that on the same exact day that this announcement came out, it was the day that in September of, I forget the year, 1955, which was 65 years ago, Emmett Till was also killed again, denied justice.
That's enough. See, it's dumb niggas like this who are fucking it up. You see, the ones that are looking at the video, you see that black nigga behind her. That's Benjamin Crump, who is nothing but an ambulance chaser. He hasn't gotten anybody any justice. He hasn't gotten anybody arrested, prosecuted, anything. Whatever happened to any cop where he happened to show up in the town happened because it was going to happen. It didn't happen because of Benjamin Crump. Benjamin Crump is there to get the money. He got that 12 million and he's chilling. He gonna go somewhere else. Somebody else gonna get shot. And he gonna go to town and he gonna try to get some money there. He's after money. He's not after any kind of justice for black folks. I done told y'all before how there was a case here where a girl got shot riding with a grandma. They thought it was a white dude in a Mustang that shot him, and they tried to make it a hate crime, and Benjamin Crump showed up here in Akron, Ohio, and as soon as he found out it was 3 niggas in a Camaro, he was gone. Because you're not gonna make no money if it's just 3 niggas in a Camaro. You make money, you get publicity if it's a white dude in a Mustang. And you know what? They still looking for that nigga. The main trigger man, he's hiding out in Detroit. They still looking for that nigga right now. Why ain't Benjamin Crump in Detroit? Saying, we demand justice, find this nigga. But no, it's because y'all niggas make me sick. That was gonna be the title of this, is y'all niggas make me sick. I was gonna say y'all niggers make me sick, but I didn't want to do too much. And it ain't all y'all, but it's irritating. Now, this man was called, the Attorney General of Kentucky was called a sellout. Even though he's the Attorney General. No telling what he can do to help black people in small cases and things like that that aren't in the public. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing at all. But because he did this one thing, working within the system, now he's a sellout. But you know who else was a sellout that y'all are excusing? Kamala Harris. She was doing the same thing. But it's cool now, huh? You chose to ignore. It's what the problem is y'all niggas ignore certain things and then play up something else. Yeah, he had married a white woman, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Kamala Harris married a white man. So what is the constant thread throughout all of this? One of them. Clarence Thomas married a white woman. I don't know what that has to do. It could have something to do with it, could not. Kamala Harris did it. She was a prosecutor in California. So she wasn't all nice and easy and everything like that. She was putting niggas in jail. Because that's what her job was. I'm trying to find this here. Says her record showed is filled with contradictions. She pushed for programs that help people find jobs instead of putting them in prison, but also fought to keep people in prison even after they were proved innocent. She refused to pursue the death penalty against a man who killed a police officer, but also defended California's death penalty system in court. She implemented training programs to address police officers' racial biases, but also resisted calls to get her office to investigate certain police shootings. Her race and gender likely made this balancing act even tougher. More than 90% of elected prosecutors are white, and more than 80% are male. As a Black and Indian American woman, Harris stood out, inviting scrutiny and skepticism, especially by people who may hold racist stereotypes about how Black people view law enforcement or sexist views about whether women are tough enough from the job. Now, this is where I was going. From the beginning of Harris's career in the criminal justice system, she said she saw herself as a progressive working within a system. She wanted to change. There you go. She did the same thing. Working within a system. But it's what you choose to ignore because you want a certain result. And you don't know what's going to happen. And you know nothing's going to be any different. And I'm going to vote for her. I'm not voting for Biden, I'm voting for her. But when Donald Trump wins his re-election, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I know I did for my conscience, because I can't vote against a Black woman that graduated from Howard University. Whatever it is, I'm going to vote for her. But they're not going to win. And when they don't win, my conscience will be clear. Y'all can't tell me shit, because I'm going to show y'all the ballot when I get it here in the mail. I'm going to show you what I've marked. So you can't say what I did and didn't do. I'm going to show you niggas. And when it goes on and Trump's another 4 years, we going to see. But don't claim somebody else as an Uncle Tom or claim somebody else as a sellout when you're going to accept a woman who was doing the exact same thing and said she was working within the system. Y'all niggas make me sick. Now, speaking of Donald Trump, he comes out to appeal to Black people with a platinum plan. That's racist right there. Because you know he gonna talk, because he knows niggas like jewelry and gold and diamonds and platinum. He just playing off of what niggas like, calling it a platinum plan. He's okey-doking y'all niggas. So this is his plan. We're going to hear it real quick. We know Biden ain't got one. We know Kamala Harris ain't came up with one. This is Trump's plan.
Decades, Democrat politicians like Joe Biden have taken Black voters for granted. They made you big promises before every election, and then the moment they got to Washington, they abandoned you and they sold you out. The Democrat Party used you and they lied to you every single time. You know it better than anybody else knows. The Democrats will always take back the vote. And I'm here today to announce a brand new plan to deliver more opportunity, more security, more fairness, and more prosperity to Black communities. We call it the Platinum Plan. Platinum Plan. And that's a contract with Black Americans, and it's going to be something that people talk about for a long time to come. If you vote Republican over the next 4 years, we will create 3 million new jobs for the black community. Open 500,000 new black-owned businesses. Increase access to capital in black communities by $500 billion. Build up peaceful and safer urban neighborhoods with the highest standards of, and you know this, of policing. We want the highest standards. We have to have highest standards of policing. Bring even greater fairness to the justice system. We did criminal justice reform. We remember that. Even greater, we will create a national clemency project to right wrongful prosecutions and to pardon individuals who have reformed their life.
Now that last part didn't sound bad. The clemency program. That's a good one. For people who have been reformed and did what they're supposed to do and paid their debt to society, that would be nice for them to get a clemency plan so that felony is wiped off of their record. That would be wonderful. That particular part. However, the rest of what he said, that's not really saying much. He's saying he's going to have this many jobs. How? He's going to get so and so amount of money to start small businesses. All of that is general. And we know that is to try to get the black vote. We know this. Well, here come the niggas. What he doing this now for? He had 4 years to do this. That's true. I acknowledge that he's probably doing this. Well, I'm certain that he's doing this to get the black vote. That's what he's trying to do, is lure just enough black people to his side, which is probably gonna happen, where he gonna get a little vote, because niggas ain't gonna show up anyway to the polls. Ain't nobody excited, so it's over. And that's the problem, is voting. And there's this old toothless ass nigga on YouTube. I can't remember his name right now. He just old and out of date. He's a holdover from slavery and sharecropping. One of those niggas that hates white people for whatever. No matter what. He's been through a lot, I'm sure, living in Louisiana, because in Louisiana, the last place a slave wanted to do is be sold to Louisiana, because they gonna work your ass to death. That's where they sent the incorrigible slaves down there. Ones that they couldn't deal with up anywhere else. They sent them down to Louisiana. So I know he's old and he grew up around that. But you can't turn around and call people a sellout and Mr. Charlie and all of that, and then turn around and say voting won't do anything for black people. Well, what you supposed to do? Just run your yap. You was around, probably you was still alive when black people couldn't vote. I bet. He was alive when black people couldn't vote. He was alive when black people were getting lynched and beat up and shot because they tried to vote. And I tell you niggas this, if you don't want to vote, I can't remember what I was going to tell you. But basically, if they didn't want you to vote, if voting didn't matter, why would they go through so much to stop you from voting? If it didn't matter. Why did you have to get a law passed? Why did women have to get a law passed? At first, they didn't even think women was people, full people. And that happened in my lifetime. There was times in my lifetime where a woman couldn't have a bank account unless she had a signature from her husband or her father. And that's in my lifetime. They had it where my mother tried to adopt a kid because I begged her for a brother or sister. But something happened. She had to get a hysterectomy a long time ago. So she tried to adopt a kid or get a foster kid or something. But because she was a single mother, they just let some black kid who could have been my brother or sister grow up in the system, who could have been sitting right next to me right now. So you niggas get your black ass out there and vote. And for old niggas like that, you got two choices. Leave, or it's time for you to just die off. One or the other. If all you gonna do is talk and then discourage us from doing the one thing that can help us, it's time for you to go. Now I know I'm thinking about maybe years down the line, after my parents have passed and all that stuff, kids are fully grown, everything like that, I may just sell the house and move to Africa. It's got to be a cool place. There better be a whole lot of trees, because it's hot. And if there ain't no trees and no water, I ain't gonna live there. But I may come down there, set up wherever it's got to be, has to have some internet. You know they're going to have internet down there. I'm going to get it. And I'll sit down there and talk shit to y'all until I'm dead. If y'all will support me. But that's years down the line, hopefully. And how you can support me, is going to MrNoGood.com or just going to my Patreon, and the Patreon link is in the description if you're listening to this on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, more than likely you are a Patreon member, because I only put the podcast on Patreon. Some of these videos out here now, you go to the Patreon, you get exclusive content. I got right here. I made this on September 25th. It's called The Curse of Being MrNoGood. Now, I tried to make a video to this too, but for some reason the internet was messing. It wasn't the internet, it was YouTube. I was doing it through just YouTube. I wasn't doing it through the software like I'm doing it right now, the Streamlabs software. But it cut off at 31 minutes. So the only thing left was the podcast. So sometimes that happens, but the exclusive podcast is right there on MrNoGood, and it's only for a $5 pledge. $5 and you get everything. All the stuff that I had when I was in the family room back in the day, all those old podcasts, everything. Over 250 hours of listening content. You'll never run out. because I'm going to keep adding to it. So, if y'all support me, years down the line, I'll be able to go down there and be in Africa, and I'm gone. That's what I'm going to do. That's a long-term plan. I'm going to be gone. So now, we're going to talk about what we going to talk about here? Oh. No, I'm going to go into this right here. About the outrage that we have, black folks, and how trying to do the right thing sometimes is going to get you to lose. You're going to lose out. This woman, like the dude, I keep talking about this dude, this is the one that pissed me off for real. George Floyd pissed me off, but this one really pissed me off because this dude was sitting in his house eating ice cream, and I've mentioned him over and over and over again, and nobody talking about it no more because a woman went to jail. But you don't know is that she's trying to appeal so she can get out of jail early. Even after she got hugged and forgave and all that kind of stuff. This woman said she began recording about 60 seconds. Let me see if I can play the video. Oh, no. I ain't got 20 minutes. No, I ain't got 20 minutes. Now, I'm just going to read this. She said she wanted to be identified as Bunny. She uploaded the video after she saw reports in the media that were contradicted by the video she made. Guyger, 30, claimed she shot John, 26, after mistaking his apartment for her own and thinking he was an intruder. She said she parked on the 4th floor instead of the 3rd where she lived and went to John's door, thinking it was hers. He lived on the 4th, on the floor above her. In the interview, Bunny said that Guyger's version of events did not add up because she would have had to walk down 2 pretty long hallways to get to his door. And those hallways have a lot of signage that would have alerted Guyger to the fact that she was on the wrong floor. Guyger said that when she inserted her key into Jean's lock, the door pushed open, something that has been attributed to it possibly being ajar when she got there. Bunny said that apartment doors in the building shut as soon as you released them, making it unlikely that Jean's door was ajar when Guyger approached it. Bunny filmed Guyger from a lower floor and captured her pacing outside Jean's apartment while talking on her phone. Bunny said it appeared Guyger was on a personal call and not calling 911. She said Guyger did not attempt to give medical aid. It was just a lot of crying, a lot of hysterics. She was just pacing back and forth. Bunny also said that when police arrived on the scene, one officer told Guyger that she was doing too much, and another took her cell phone from her. In addition to uploading the video to social media, Bunny said she turned it over to Dallas County District Attorney's Office. It was after she uploaded the video that the harassment started. I did get a few threats from people saying they weren't going to leave any witnesses behind, telling me I need to watch my back. She said that trolls found the name of the pharmaceutical company that she worked for and began making harassing phone calls. They also found the company Facebook page and made posts calling her a radical, anti-police, and a black extremist. The company let the Bunny go, saying that they didn't want the company associated with a high-profile case. Bunny declined to reveal the name of the company. Fuck that. I would have named them. And ABC was unable to verify whether or not she was fired and if it was in fact in relation to the Botham Jean shooting. I don't know why she did that. Where's that video now? She posted it, it's gone. Sent it to them, it's not been released. Where is it? That is a travesty right there. They didn't search this woman's apartment. They let her move out. Everything. That's what you get mad about. You're getting mad at Megan Thee Stallion. Because y'all niggas are able to be manipulated. This woman got shot. We gonna watch this quick video right here. Sorry for the people on the podcast. But it shows Tory Lanez laying on the ground. No shirt, no shoes, no nothing. And you see Megan limping. Blood dripping on the concrete. She's leaving blood stains on the concrete. You see that? That's enough. Y'all seen the blood, but you know what you niggas are doing? Is allowing yourself to get manipulated and saying dumb shit like, well, if she got shot in the foot, how come he ain't hit no bones? Trying to say it was fake. When these Trump people come out here and call stuff fake news and denying obvious facts and things of that nature, you niggas do the same thing when it comes to your own people. If you like his music, if you like Tory Lanez's music, just say you like Tory Lanez's music and you're gonna listen to it anyway. There was this black woman on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, talking about, well, what if he had the gun out on his lap and she grabbed the gun and they were struggling over the gun and she got shot in the foot? Trying to make it like it was an accident. One, how you gonna get shot in the foot? Grabbing a gun. You gonna get shot somewhere else. Two, why did he have a gun out? If you arguing with a woman, why do you have a gun out? She said, well, maybe he had it on his hip and she just grabbed the gun from him. Again, why did he have a gun when he has armed security? Well, I'm just saying, baby, he grabbed the gun. Shut the fuck up. You niggas make me sick. Yeah, Baba Rasa, and that's his name, Zazmaz. I don't know if I want to talk about, yeah, I'm going to go another thing about Martin and Malcolm. Oh, well, I have to talk about something when it comes to that. When it comes to Farrakhan. You're holding him in a pedestal that he's just so wonderful and so knowledgeable. And he is knowledgeable. And he is a good leader for black folks. But that was the same nigga that was running the Newark, New Jersey mosque, where the shooters came from who assassinated Malcolm X. When those people came into that little community service hall or whatever and shot him up, they were Muslims from the Newark, New Jersey mosque, and who Farrakhan was running at the time. And now he said he had nothing to do with it. He didn't order the killing. I doubt if he did. I doubt if he ordered the killing explicitly. But it was black people that killed him. It was under his watch that Malcolm X got killed. If you sitting up there and you running a company or you running an organization and somebody in your organization goes and assassinates Malcolm X, that's on you. But y'all niggas forgot that. It wasn't the white folks that killed Malcolm X. It was a bunch of niggas. All right, Rude Boy, have a good evening. It was a bunch of niggas. He said he contributed to the atmosphere that led to Malcolm X's death. Where's the Qubilah Shabazz, the second daughter of Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz? She witnessed the assassination of her father by 3 gunmen, and she was arrested in 1995 in connection with an alleged plot to kill Louis Farrakhan, by then the leader of the Nation of Islam, who she believed was responsible for the assassination of her father. She has maintained her innocence. She accepted a plea agreement under which she was required to undergo psychological counseling and treatment for drug and alcohol abuse to avoid a prison sentence. So basically, one of Malcolm X's daughters tried to kill her. For many years, Shabazz's mother, Betty, harbored resentment towards the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan in particular for what she felt was their role in the assassination of her husband. In a 1994 interview, her mother was asked whether Farrakhan had anything to do with Malcolm X's death. She replied, "Of course, yes. Nobody kept it a secret. It was a badge of honor. Everybody talked about it. Yes." Shabazz began to obsess about Farrakhan. Like her mother, she believed he was responsible for killing her father. Now she feared he would kill her mother. In May 1994, she contacted Michael Fitzpatrick, a friend from high school, and asked if he would kill Farrakhan for her. Then death of Betty Shabazz, which is her mom. Shabazz moved to San Antonio to undergo treatment. She worked at a radio station owned by Percy Sutton, a family friend. Married in December 96, but the marriage was over by the end of the following month. For the duration of Shabazz's treatment, her son Malcolm, then 10 years old, was sent to live with her mother Betty in Yonkers, New York. 2 years later, on June 1st, Malcolm set a fire in his grandmother's apartment. Betty Shabazz suffered burns over 80% of her body and died from her injuries 3 weeks. Malcolm Shabazz pleaded guilty to the juvenile equivalents of arson and manslaughter. So they all was fucked up. Farrakhan ruined their lives. But he gets a pass, don't he? He gets a pass, don't he? Hold on. Oh, I ain't got it on here. Hold on real quick. Shit. Hold on, please. And who is gonna make the most money off of it? And who's sitting back and collecting all that money? As us niggas fight, as Louis Farrakhan was over there. Now, yes, Malcolm X got out of pocket. He did. Elijah Muhammad told him not to say nothing about the JFK assassination. Said, don't comment on the JFK assassination. What did Malcolm do? He made his famous quote, "The chickens have come home to roost." That's what caused him to get ostracized from the Nation of Islam, because they told him they didn't want that heat. And he did it anyway. And Farrakhan was a leader. Now there's a good documentary on that. Shows all the details. I think it's called Who Killed Malcolm X. Shows all the details, all the people that were involved. It was the black Muslims that killed him. That's what happened. Now, I know they don't mean it now. I know they're sorry for doing it, but it happened. People hated Malcolm X. People hated Martin Luther King back then. At one time, they hated each other. But look who's chilling. Look who's chilling right there. Them. So that's all I got to say about it. I'm gonna see if this video gets flagged. I don't know if it will or not. I don't know. But anyway, like and subscribe. Go to MrNoGood.com. You have my phone number up there, 330-536-3706. You have it up there. Call me, text me. I don't think I have anything else I need to talk about today. Nope, I did it all. But that's it. This is what I want black people to do, is vote. One way or the other. Get up off your ass and vote, because if you don't, everything else you're saying is a bunch of hot air. And you got two choices. Leave, deal with it, or die. That's what you're going to have to do anyway, even if you vote. But at least you have a little bit of a choice. And this is your #1 baby daddy. MrNoGood at MrNoGood.com.